Hello everyone and welcome back to 360 Comics. Joe here, and today, just a few minutes ago actually, I received a GRAIL in the mail, and I'm going to unbox this for you today and tell you why I wanted to acquire it, what I plan on doing with it, and my thoughts on this book. So let's get into it. Quick reminder before we dive into our GRAIL unboxing, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment down below. You can also go follow us over on Instagram, where we post lots of comic book content and do giveaways. And speaking of giveaways, we've got one right here, right now on YouTube. This is our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. All you have to do to win this book is subscribe to the channel and then like and comment on this video. That'll give you one entry, and then you can actually go back and you can like and comment on all of our videos that have come out in November and October. And we're going to run this until we hit 1,000 subscribers. We're about 100 away now, so this will probably go into December too. So every time I put out a new video, you can like and comment on that video. Every video that you like and comment on, you get an entry, so you can maximize your chance of winning by watching all of our October, November, and December videos. The prize right here is a 9.2 white pages CGC slab of The Amazing Spider-Man 317 with this incredible Todd McFarlane art. All right, let's get down to business here and see what I picked up. Bazap! Well, it seems that my GRAIL also has a jacket. Let's take that off. Bazap! And another added layer of protection. Bazap! And there we have it. The GRAIL I got in the mail. It's here. You might recognize this back cover. It's a very common Silver Age back cover that was used from the early 60s to the late 60s, probably. At least through the mid-60s. You want to see what it is? You ready? 1, 2, 3. Daredevil Number One. The first appearance of Matt Murdock, Daredevil, as well as the first appearance of his supporting cast. We got Foggy Nelson and, of course, Karen Page, their first appearances as well. So really a triple threat book right here. For those of you who don't know, not familiar with Daredevil as much, think about how Peter has Mary Jane and Harry, or in the MCU, Peter has MJ and Ned. Karen and Foggy, they are Matt's supporting cast. And, oh my gosh, I can't believe I own this book. I am beyond excited. You can see up in the top, it's a 3.5 off-white to white pages from CGC, and we'll talk a little bit about the grade in just a minute, but yeah, let's take in that book. 1964, a number one, a major first appearance, Stan Lee story. Stan Lee created this character, art by Bill Everett, and cover art by not only Bill Everett, but also Jack Kirby. This is like a dream team book. You really can't get much better than a big Silver Age major key. Most would consider this a GRAIL. I consider it an undervalued book, which we'll also talk about. But let's go into the grade first. And I'm just going to put this right here so I don't have to hold it. There we go. Try to get as little glare as possible. I've been searching around for this book for a while, thinking about going as low as a 1.0, but I kind of fell more in the 2 to 2.5 range. I was also looking at some 1.8s and some 3s, and I was almost ready to pull the trigger on a 2.0 that had tape on the interior cover. And it was less than this book. But the tape was really, it was bothersome to me. And you don't make a hasty decision, especially when you're buying a big GRAIL, a big book, a major purchase of any kind. It doesn't even have to be comic related. You got to make sure that you're not buying on emotion. You're buying with your brain. You know, obviously there are emotional aspects to buying things, especially if it's something that you're never going to get rid of, or, you know, it's not super high value, but you should always think things through. Make sure you don't regret your decision. Just like seller's regret is a thing. I've talked about that before. Buyer's regret is also a thing. And you don't want that to happen. So, like I said, I was looking around. There were a lot of copies that either had tape on them or were missing, a smaller portion, less than an inch, but a piece was ripped off. And, mostly in the corners and things like that. And I found some with like one staple was detached or the centerfold was detached. And, you can get a good deal on those books. Don't get me wrong. And they're not bad to buy, but I really wanted a complete and intact book. And I bumped up my grade a little bit as far as what I was looking for. I stopped looking in the 1.0 to 1.8, and even a lot of the 2s I wasn't looking for because a lot of them have some more severe chipping and things like that. And I ended up with this 3.5. I thought this was a great value, and not only that, but it has very minimal chipping. Everything is intact. Everything is there. Staples are not rusted at all, which is really important on Silver and Golden Age books. You will often find rusty staples, and that's something you really want to avoid because for higher value books. For lower value books and reader copies, it's whatever. But rusted staples is going to deteriorate the paper around it at a faster rate. Something to always think about. So if it's a higher value book, watch out for that. If it's something lower value, in the $20 or less range, it's not nearly as big of a deal. Anyway, I settled on this 3.5. It's an off-white to white pages. I could see myself someday upgrading this to a higher grade copy, but for now, this is great. And I actually have Daredevil number 2, also 3.5, also off-white to white pages, so this goes along really nicely with that in a little pair. I actually posted that on Instagram recently, so go check that out if you haven't yet. But yeah, you can't beat this. Like I said, I think this is a very undervalued key. The reason being is, look at all the other first appearances that came out in the 60s. Most of them are significantly more expensive than this one. Obviously, like, the big ones are X-Men. Yeah, that's always going to be more expensive than this. Spider-Man. Yeah, Fantastic Four. Those are always going to be more expensive than this book. But right now, they're kind of like astronomically more expensive than this book. 5 times as valuable. 5 times plus, honestly. 5 to 10 times probably. For, comparable grades. And makes me think that this one is a little undervalued. Like I said, I'm not telling you that this will be as expensive as X-Men number 1 one day. I don't think that whatsoever. X-Men number 1 will likely always be more expensive than this book. But I think this one has some room to catch up, and I think a lot of that is going to have to do with the MCU. Rewind back to the beginning of the MCU. Iron Man was a third-rate character, maybe a fourth-rate character. Not super popular at all. Had an animated series at one point in the early 90s or late 80s, early 90s, somewhere around there. Not a really loved character by nearly as many people as today, but amazing casting, Robert Downey Jr., no one's going to argue there. Really solid solo movies, at least the first 2. The third one, not so much. And great team movies with the Avengers. And just an absolute legacy within the MCU. That has catapulted that character to be a fan favorite. Like, I can't remember a single one of my friends being Iron Man when we were growing up for Halloween. But you can't go out on Halloween without seeing Iron Man nowadays. Even now. It was even more a couple years ago, before his untimely death in the MCU. But that character was propped up, and people started to love that character due to the amazing casting. Now, Daredevil, I think we can all agree, will eventually be in the MCU. There's disagreements whether it'll be Charlie Cox or someone else, a new actor. I don't think anyone thinks it's going to be Ben Affleck. I don't think that's going to happen. But Charlie Cox could definitely reprise the role. You know, he's young enough. But it could also be someone else. They might scrap that and go with someone else. Now, I know there's been some quote-unquote leaks, some unconfirmed photos of Charlie Cox on set of Spider-Man No Way Home. I personally don't think they're real. And if they are real, he's in the movie. I think it's going to be in a very small role. I think it's going to... it's almost going to be like a cameo appearance. It might just be an end credit scene if he is in the movie, in fact. I think that'd actually be kind of cool to put in an end credit scene, considering he is a New Yorker, as is Peter. It kind of makes sense for him to show up somewhere along the way, but he's certainly not going to be a major character. And if he's in the movie at all, I seriously doubt he's going to be in his Daredevil suit. I think if we see him at all, we're going to see Matt Murdock in a lawyer capacity or just as a person capacity. I don't think we're going to see him in the suit. Now, obviously, Peter's in trouble in this movie. After what happened in the last movie with Mysterio, setting him up, all that stuff. And we see Peter in the first trailer, in a police station. There are people thinking that maybe Matt Murdock hops in as his lawyer. And that is something that certainly could happen, but I personally don't think it's going to happen. I did want to buy this book now and secure it just to make sure that if that does happen, I'm prepared. I have this book already. It's in my possession. It's not going to spike up like crazy and price me out. So I'm glad I got it now. It has been on the rise this year, though. So, if you had bought this a year ago, you probably got a 10%, 20% discount from what they're going for right now. But nonetheless, I still think it's a good time because of what I said. It's undervalued. Daredevil's not in the MCU yet. And, beyond Spider-Man No Way Home, say he doesn't show up at all in there, there's an Echo show coming. Echo's going to be in Hawkeye, and then Echo's getting a spin-off solo show. Echo does originate from the Daredevil books, and, as a deaf character, we can relate her to Matt Murdock, a blind character. Very interesting tie-in there, and I think we'll see Daredevil coming in the next 12 months. Even if it's just a cameo or an end credit scene, I think we will see, whether it's Charlie Cox or someone else, Daredevil or Matt Murdock make an appearance. One of the big reasons I have behind that is if you looked at Marvel's comic releases for next year, there's a big event. I think it's starting in December or January. I can't remember, but it's a major event in the comic books, and it's called Devil's Reign, and it specifically focuses on Daredevil and Kingpin and New York City in general. So sure, they don't always tie in what's coming in the comics with the MCU movies, but think about this. We have a Kang solo book. I don't think there's ever been a Kang solo book before. Not that I can remember, and I don't think I've ever seen one, but there is a Kang solo run right now, and we know that Kang is coming to the MCU, kind of is already here. We got teased a little bit in Loki, but we know in Quantumania, we're seeing Kang as a major part of the story. Could they be doing that with Devil's Reign? Getting people hyped on Daredevil, interested in the character, and then dropping him in somewhere? Probably in a cameo appearance or an end credit scene. I think so. I think it's coming, like I said, in the next 12 months. That's why I wanted to secure this book now and not wait on it. Again, that can cause FOMO. You got to be careful. You don't want to buy too much on emotion, on FOMO, because that can really backfire on you, and it can be detrimental to your investment or your speculation. For this book, though, this is a Silver Age GRAIL, major key, big one. First appearance of a major hero as well as 2 supporting characters. I think it's a good buy either way, and it's long term. I have not planned on getting rid of this book. This is a personal collection book, and now money can buy anything. If this spikes astronomically, maybe I eventually get rid of it. But right now, this is a PC book. I'm working on my Daredevil run. I'm trying to get everything from 1 to 380, the first volume of Daredevil. I've got most of the books. And at this point, now that I have this, I have most of the value as well. I still need 131 First Bullseye and 168 First Elektra. Those are pricey as well. But I have most of the early books that hold a lot of value. So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I've been babbling on about this book. I am so excited. I need to look at it. Very cool. I hope you guys like this video. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this book. Let me know what you think about my ideas on Daredevil. Let me know maybe a big book that you are looking to pick up. Hopefully maybe this was an inspiration to you, to work towards a grail that you've been thinking about or anything like that. Only thing I suggest, obviously, take your time with it. Make sure you're getting a good deal. And make sure you're not buying too much on emotion. Anyway, thank you guys. Please like this video, leave a comment below, subscribe, go check out the other videos, follow on Instagram, all that stuff. And, of course, enter the giveaway. You can win this Spider-Man 317 in a 9.2 CGC. And don't forget, commenting on this video enters you, but also commenting on any of our videos from October or November and the videos that are coming in December, all the way up until we hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. Stoked to have this. Thank you guys for spending this time with me today. And until next time, turn the page, wash your hands.